My name is Mark Harris. I am the owner and race director at Adventure Enablers. We produce outdoor endurance events from half marathons, adventure races, trail runs, mountain bike races. We're based in the Shenandoah Valley, just outside Northern Virginia. We produce races all over the country. We have a large half marathon series we produce in cooperation with Cedar Fair amusement parks, where we go into the parks, put on a half marathon series, best swag ever, entry to the park after you finished our races. So last year, a big feather in our cap was we produced the 2017 Adventure Race World Championships, which was hosted in Wyoming. And that consisted of a 6-day adventure race. We had over 240 participants, 21 different nationalities represented over those 6 days. We have a small team of people. My wife does the marketing and communication side of our event. And we have Greg Pulliam works with us on our logistics, sponsorship, and pretty much everything else that I don't take care of. But we're a full management service. We do equipment rental, timing, produce our own events, help people put on their events as well. We moved to RunSignUp about 2 years ago. One of the key things that really caused us to move over to RunSignUp was something really small. It was the ability to manage groups and teams. A lot of our adventure races are actually team-based. And so RunSignUp, after we looked at a couple of other different platforms, seemed to have the best ability to manage teams and groups the way that we needed to, the way that we manipulate our data and people are able to join teams or pay for teams. And so that was one of the main reasons why we moved over. RunSignUp had that capability. It came recommended to us from a couple of other race directors who had been using it, and they said, hey, why don't you jump over to the platform? And to be honest, the first time I jumped into RunSignUp, it had a very different interface than any of the other programs I'd been using, and really it's because it was a little bit more modern. RunSignUp just really had a cleaner interface. And so that's one of the main reasons we came over. And then once we started exploring the capabilities behind doing timing integration and the participant management side of things inside the platform, it kind of really solidified as becoming a client and staying with that particular platform. We have an ambassador program that we have for a couple of different channels of events that we do. We really segment our events into distinct audiences. We have this half marathon crowd that's coming out and doing part of our marathon series that we do through amusement parks. And then we also have what we call our dirty, grungy side of our audience. And they're the guys who are really coming out and doing our adventure races, trail runs, mountain bike races, and they are really two very distinct audiences. So this past year, to really help with our marketing, we have set up some different ambassador groups, and really it's a two-way relationship. So if you become one of our ambassadors, you actually get free entry into our race. We have a bit of a VIP experience when you come on site. We have private group forums that we do some personal interaction and communication with our ambassadors, and the ambassadors in return help promote and talk up our events, and we give them each personal codes that they use to help promote out the event. We actually track that, we have leaderboards, and we reward people who really are helping us promote our event and spread the word. And it's been a really good relationship in some areas, and we've seen this particularly where we've moved into some new regions. We actually targeted bringing some ambassadors in from maybe a different city or a different area that we knew we were going into in 2018. And those particular ambassadors have been extremely instrumental in spreading the word and helping get people come out to our events in those areas and locations that we really didn't have a presence before. RunSignUp, they're pulling out new features constantly. My background is actually in IT, so I love getting in and seeing what's been developed and put out there, and really trying to find out how that will effectively help us promote, manage, and organize our events. So when we look at the new features that come out, we try and jump on them as soon as possible if we see that it benefits our events. And 99% of the time, the team at RunSignUp have looked and they've had so much feedback from their existing customers about the features that they need. They just make sense. Depending on the particular event, and also depending on what we can manage at any time, we've used different things. So we've used reserved entries. That particularly came in handy when we opened up our World Series event that we knew was actually going to, that particular event sold out in a minute and a half. And we were able to reserve entries for people who had been past participants. For our particular event, we wanted to give them the VIP option to come in and register before everyone else had signed up. And we were able to assemble lists of emails that we had from those past participants, send them a link out and saying, hey, you've got priority to come in and register for this event before anyone else could. And even in that situation, that worked very well. We were able to create a huge buzz about the event. It actually sold out to our VIP participants before even we opened it up to anyone else, which is pretty unique and a nice experience to have. Pretty much all the tools that are out there related to timing we try and utilize wherever we can. We are race director users, so the whole process of managing people, pushing that out, bringing the results back, bringing in our photos to tag it to our results, we're using all those features. The new features that are coming out, like swag rewards, we're looking at doing that right now. It's a pretty new feature. We actually are using refund referral awards right now, and some of the stuff we've been learning and looking at is there's maybe a little bit more value behind giving someone a product, whether it's extra swag. We'll probably go ahead and do that for some of our series rather than just doing refund rewards. We do a lot of photography in our events, and we know that's a really important part of creating the experience for our participants. And there's a couple of different ways we do our photography depending on the event that we're doing. On some of our larger expedition races, we'll have a fairly large media team that comes in, and they're doing some amazing photography to really capture the event, so to help us really give that to participants, pitches for sponsorship, pitches for future promotion of the events. We'll also do finish line photography, where we'll get an outside company, they'll come in, just snap us some pictures, and we'll upload them for finish line photography. And then we'll also do a blend where we'll get a team of about 3 or 4 very good photographers, and they're taking pictures on the course and at the finish line. And so there's a couple of different ways that we deliver those picture products back to our participants, and it really kind of depends on the source of the pictures. We do try and regain some compensation for the pictures. So depending on the photographer that we've paid to come out, sometimes they host them on their own site, and that's a revenue source for them to sell them directly to the participants. Sometimes we will host them on our SmugMug site, and then that becomes a revenue source for us to help pay for the top photography. Sometimes if we've got a volunteer just taking pictures, we'll heavily utilize the photo integration inside RunSignUp to get those pictures out to the participants. The big difference that we've seen, and this is something that we're working with all the time, is if we work with a professional photographer, the turnaround on the pictures can be up to a week. And what we lose sometimes with that is the buzz and the immediate, after race day, water cooler, hey, I did this awesome event, social sharing of that information, which is good and bad. We end up with high quality pictures. It usually becomes a source of revenue for us, but we lose that immediate buzz. We actually see a lot more traction on social sharing, promotion of our event, time with our results, if we take a volunteer who we stood at the finish line and said, every time someone crosses that finish line, snap a picture. We give them an SLR camera, digital camera. We then process the pictures, and we actually upload them really directly straight into RunSignUp. And we see a lot more social interaction and sharing on that side. And so that's kind of an intangible gain rather than, and we also will then at the same time post those pictures out to SmugMug, and so it's in 2 locations. So it really is, we do not have kind of a one fit solution for our pictures. We use all the tools that are out there for us depending on who they're taking to the picture, what type of race it is, and really the size and type of race we're doing as well. What's my favorite RunSignUp feature? It's really the stability of the platform. We know that we can go into that product online and be able to get our data and information whenever we need it. We've worked with other platforms and partners where that's not been the case. And if you are showing up on race day and you can't download your participant list, or you can't enter your information about your participants during race day, that's a major issue. So in the whole time that we've been clients and using RunSignUp, I don't think we've had a single time where we haven't been able to access the platform. My other favorite features in RunSignUp, streamlining of data. One of the big things with data and data management is basically trying to keep it in a single platform, not importing, exporting, manipulating to do different things across different platforms. And what RunSignUp lets us do that, especially on our timing side of things, is keep that data stream from the moment someone clicks sign up all the way through to coming back post-event, looking at their results. That data is kept in that single platform. And we utilize that heavily by doing race day signups through kiosks, bib distribution through the check-in app, doing updates there, transferring that information directly over to race director, running our results, having that information published back into RunSignUp. That's a huge, huge feature for us that makes our data across the whole event be in sync. We used to do a lot of like race day signups on paper, or if we go out to another event where they're doing race day signups on paper, we may get 10 to 15% errors. And post-race, I'll find myself spending 3 to 4 hours cleaning up data, cleaning up results. And it's not because we missed scans, it's not because something happened wrong with the timing system, it's because the data didn't exist in one spot or was manipulated by someone else before we got it. If I do an event with RunSignUp, I will very, very rarely have any post-race follow-up on the results. And I was telling this to someone actually yesterday, that I actually sometimes have to go back and check and make sure people are actually looking at the results page, because I'm so incredulous that I'm not getting questions on why results aren't correct sometimes, because that's the world I used to live in, where our data didn't stay in one platform. So that's a huge bonus for us when we're using RunSignUp as basically our turnkey solution for registration, timing, and everything that goes in towards participant management. Another huge benefit of RunSignUp and basically the non-siloing of data into different platforms and having it all in one place is really being able to use and leverage that data for marketing. So whether that's looking and comparing your race stats from this year to last year, you know, we look at that information constantly. Why are the race numbers down? Why are they up? And go back and tweak out anything that we need to do to either improve numbers, or do we need to do something, cap numbers, do we need to get more swag, those types of things, compared to trends that have happened in the past. So that's huge for us, and keeping that data all in one platform. When we moved from our previous vendor, we'd been using other platforms for about 5 or 6 years before we came to RunSignUp. We went and grabbed all our data from the previous platforms and sucked that into RunSignUp. And that is huge. That's given us one single huge database of where we manage this data, and it's intelligent. We can compare this information from one year to the next. We can do exports of this data to help us build out marketing lists, whether that's an email campaign, a social campaign. So all that, having that information in one location, and it be intelligently working with everything else that we do in the whole registration process, timing process, is huge.